This is Daniel, your Game Master and Master of Ceremony.
This is Tori, and I play Dooley.
This is Sorcerer, and I play Ty.
This is Becca, and I play Mirgrat.
And this is Odyssey, a Babylon 5 story. Welcome aboard.
Yes, thank you. That is quite enough. Thank you. Allow me to say from the bottom of my heart, we will contact you when we need you. Thank you for your audition, and please come again. Enjoy our films from now on, but please, we will contact you when it's needed. Yes? Good. Ariadne, where do you keep finding them? Who are these people who want to come and audition for us? I mean, a tap dancing pak'ma'ra. Who does that? Where do you find these people? Do they know what kind of films we make? I mean, there you are. Good. Thank you, Ariadne. That'll be all from now. The good Bavaria. Thank you. Keep it coming. You just joined me at an inopportune time. I can't believe this. We have gotten this nice raft of beautiful listeners who decided they all wanted to audition for our beautiful show. And they don't realize what it is I actually do. And I'm not going to tell them, but you should see the stupid acts I have to sit through. But that is not why you're here. Unless you're really interested in a tap dancing pak'ma'ra. In that case, turn around and go find the pak'ma'ra who went shuffling off that way. You know, the one who smells like bacon for no reason. However, you want to hear a story about the Tal Maria Celestia, yes? Good. Sit. Do not tap dance. Enough with the tap dancing. So I'm going to be hearing that in my dreams now. Anyway, when last we left, they had just boarded and named their new ship Dodger. You know this ship, the one that looks like a giant trilobite that is sentient and organic and found on a lost Vorlon outpost? Yeah, it happens every Tuesday, I know. But you can't really forget any of this. But they are preparing for a good journey now that they have coordinates to deal with the Slipstream, a network of tunnels in space the Vorlons experimented with to go to certain areas. It didn't go very far, but the experiment still stayed. And now they're using their opportunity to find the one they call the Model Maker. But in the meantime, everybody has to sort out where they go and what they do. And as we've discovered, we have a new position for Dooley.
So, Dooley, you actually have a little bit of a job on the vessel. You're the mouthpiece.
Yeah. Better than your last job.
Well, depends. You know, she was a investigator, an agent, a scrounger, and is now apparently a Knight of the Round Table.
Pick any of those jobs.
/ cruise director.
Cruise director for a vessel of what? 12 people?
The ship is a person. Sorta.
Sorry, 11. Well, yeah, with the ship, it's 12 because it's 8 people plus 3 of you. That's 11 plus the ship. Yeah, got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and it is 8 because you lost Connor, but you got Eric. Okay. Also, yeah, Aparo is also in Medbay. He's helping out a few things. Right. Okay. He's the easiest one to knock out because it's like, Aparo? Yeah, go to sleep. All right. Thud. I'm going to do a quick check here. And Mirgrat, if you wish to assist, you're welcome to do so for a medical check.
Oh, hell yeah. This is my steez.
I don't know how to take that phrase, but then again, I'm old, so what?
This is only a word that people over 30 use, so...
23.
Okay. Nice. Okay. So, the biggest issue you guys had is like, we'll get the ship to create some adrenaline to keep you awake, and we'll give it some, have it create essentially high potent melatonin or something that not melatonin, what is the pill that you take?
Melatonin. You're getting
melatonin?
Melanin, which is not what you want.
Exactly. Thank you. I wanted to make sure I had the right phrase there.
Yep.
But yeah, so they wanted, basically you're coming up with high octane melatonin. The biggest trick, however, is trying to convince the ship to produce it. Not that it won't. It's more of how do you describe to a being to produce a particular chemical?
I give it the chemical structure of the thing I want it to produce, and also I use my telepathy to transmit the feeling that it is supposed to produce.
Okay. Give me a knowledge biology roll.
Luckily, this is also my steez. Hang on just a
I
sec.
feel like sneeze has replaced the word chisel somewhere along the way.
It's only a word. It's a word that only people between the ages of like 30 and maybe 35 use.
Okay.
I am in that brief window.
Yeah, me too. So is Cam
23.
Newton, the last person I heard use it.
Okay. So, yeah, it's difficult to figure out. There are ways of getting it to produce various chemicals and medicines and things like that. It's difficult, but it's a learning process. Now, some of this also comes from the brains acting as the computer cores. There's more data to work with. And again, some of the ideas of this medical bay are still being, if you'll excuse the term, fleshed out.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I caught myself in the pun before I said it, and I went, okay, might as well run with it. Thank you. So again, a lot of the chemical stuff comes out very simply. Like again, when you finally get adrenaline, you kind of get it, but it's essentially a vial of clear liquid when you actually get it. It's probably a vial about the size of your thumb. As for the melatonin on high octane, that also comes out as a slightly whitish fluid in small vial isn't the right word. I guess eggs are a better word. Clear crystal eggs, but they look like vials in that they're more cylindrical than oblong.
Okay, are you trying to tell me
Like
that basically we're getting a game version of the round glass bottle of energy?
Round glass bottles of energy?
The old games, you had red and blue.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about like mana and health potions?
Mm-hmm.
Don't think of it in the spherical mana potions. Think of them as, okay, what's the largest pill you have ever taken?
Augmentin.
Okay. Anybody ever?
I've taken some pretty large ones, but yeah. Take what?
You ever taken fish oil?
Yeah.
Yes. I take that. I take 3 of those every morning in winter. Augmentin was bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
But basically, again, think of the pill for the fish oil. It has that coating. It's more cylindrical than it is round, and it's got the obvious fluid inside it, even though it's pretty much a vacuum interior. That's basically what you're dealing with. Produces the pills that are the size of a thumb.
Okay.
So, and if you want to, basically get it out of inject it, you either have to figure out how to put it into an injector, or essentially use a reverse of the injector to suck it up out of the capsule and then inject it into somebody else. They don't use needles in Babylon 5 times because they got the hypospray stuff.
Sounds plausible.
Yep. So after doing some of this, you've got stuff that you're fairly certain is adrenaline and stuff that is fairly certain melatonin on high octane. And you can start to distribute it amongst some of the passengers.
And I do.
A crew. Kaluta flat out refuses. Either way, he says, uncomfortable. I will accept uncomfortable. Crosses his arms in that way that only Mexican wrestlers the size of a brick wall could do. Not even in the I am threatening. It's more of just the I am manly.
It is your choice, but remember, there is no extra credit for suffering.
Yeah, this is more meant to protect the brain of people than anything else. I don't care if people are in mild pain, but it kind of sounds like whatever we're doing might make you crazy, so I think less brain activity is better than more. Here.
That is an excellent point.
Meditation work?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor, I'm just guessing.
And you don't even have fully even anecdotal evidence to work with. You just have the suggestions of...
I'm literally just guessing.
Yeah. Again, you're getting the same sort of warnings people get for tire damage.
Yeah.
There used to be a comic strip called Sluggy Freelance. And they had a place called the Dimension of Pain, which was essentially hell.
I am familiar with Sluggy Freelance, yes.
And they had a sign that I had downloaded and printed and put on my cubicle for a long time that just had the image of hell, and it says, "The Dimension of Pain may cause severe tire damage." Essentially, when you tell them hold it's for your brain, Kaluta will just take it and go, "Very well, I will accept this," and takes it. And when he takes it, he gets onto his massive bed and relaxes a little bit. And he says, I await what is to come." And you're like, "All right, fine, whatever, moving on." Kali immediately takes it, and he's like, because it's very obvious, if nothing else, anybody who wants to make a sense motive roll, I'll just kind of give it to you. The woman looks tired. She has had a time in the last couple of weeks. Her office was blown up. Her captain tried to attack and kill everybody. She saw bugs. She's dealing with you people. She's got verification that there are brain jumpers, and there's possible that the ship that she was assigned to protect is now infested with at least 2 armies of people who are not people anymore, but they're slowly, doing stuff on board her vessel. And she was asked to shuttle you guys to this planet in the hopes of saving something, and found essentially lost legendary technology of a bioship that she's currently sailing along through, no problems. Yeah, give me that pill.
Yeah. I'm just saying, this has happened to all of us, so, the situation is what you make of it.
This is one of the less strange things that Ty has been through recently, honestly, so whatever.
Yeah, you still have all your regular limbs.
I mean, there's someone else's limbs, but close enough.
But you're not having the clackers and the trumpet as limbs on a strange...
True.
Yeah. That takes that. Tuvo, he just like, "Yeah, Mom." He just takes the pill, no problem. Eric actually says he'll take it last amongst the quote-unquote crew, simply because he wants to make sure it's administered correctly. He trusts definitely Mirgrat, but he kind of goes, "It's my job now."
Reasonable.
I mean, honestly, if someone's giving you an injection, you want it to be a nurse, not a doctor.
Oh, yeah. Nurses know how to find the freaking vein.
I mean, I've heard that's a problem for some people. I have great veins.
Yeah, I've had a couple of times where even when they're really good, they just, there's a difference between that person who can inject you with the and you're done, and versus the stab. Okay, we're getting your blood now. It's okay. It's all perfectly fine. Everything's fine. Okay, and here's your lollipop. I would much rather have the first than the latter.
Yeah.
I hate is when they don't listen to you. It's like, for some reason, the veins on my left side are good, but not my right side. They're like, "Oh, but we prefer it on the right because of blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, okay, fine. 3 needles later, and my entire arm is bruised.
Yeah, enjoy your
try the left. Yeah.
I've never done it. I've always wanted to go to, when they take the blood or whatever for some standard test. And there's always part of me just wants to point at my arm going, "This hole is my favorite."
Oh, man.
Because that's a good way for that test to end. So everyone kind of administered. The best part about Padini is when you kind of go, "Oh, we need you to relax for this." "Oh, relax, everybody, quick. We're going to have a nice cuddle pile." And they just, without question, they just take the pill, they put it back, and part of the recreation they have, they just kind of just becomes this very long couch, and everyone just sort of lounges together like
they've done this before. We get it.
Yeah, exactly. It's
nothing new here.
We're injecting a strange substance and then cuddling in a pile. This is a normal Tuesday for Padini Folio's crew.
We do this all the time. Usually we have to pay for the drugs.
Exactly. Aparo, of course, went out pretty quickly. And is that everybody? Oh, and Yorni actually, we'll get to that in a second. So yeah, Tuvo, I think that's everybody. I gotta pull up my data sheet. Yeah, so everyone takes it. Eric takes his. When you go to Yorni, however, she has a room It's one of the smaller ones, but she's not complaining under any circumstances. Yeah, okay, that's and Shokar. I almost forgot Shokar. He just downs it like crazy. He's still trying to figure out the food station, and there actually is a food station. The biggest issue is that most of the food comes out in liquid form. It is sustainable. It is, as far as you can tell, it is, fully nutritious, sustainable, plenty of protein, plenty of carbohydrates, plenty of minerals. It is exceedingly good material, but it basically comes out as essentially milk, or very thick like milk. And
gross.
It's a little gross, but you will never starve. This thing again it'll keep you going till the day is long. Now
you just have to be content with living off of a deeply gross milkshake.
However,
as a person who has a protein shake every morning, you just run with it. Also, yes, Kutbusek is there. He's the one who has figured out there is an alternate, which he is thankful for. Because, again, straight milk for you guys, it's not the best option. It's not fermented. It's not decayed. It's, what can you do with this? There is a solid that is produced from essentially the milk, which is kept in a kind of another area of the food room, and it's a cheese. It is a very thick cheese that has almost the consistency of tofu.
I mean, tofu is what you get if you make cheese out of soy milk, so that tracks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something called, something, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's paneer, which is another cheese-like substance that is, very high in protein, kind of like tofu, kind of like cheese.
Yep.
Basically, it's a lot like paneer, which, as we've discussed, cheese needs to be fermented for it to be actual cheese. So it is very...
no, you can make fresh cheese.
True. But it is still something that requires a lot of bacteria to process in the same way that a body is processed through decomposition. It's in the same way that if you're put into the ground in a box, what does your body become in about 3 or 4 weeks?
No, what I'm saying is stuff like ricotta or queso fresco doesn't do that.
But anyway, the reason I bring up the cheese thing before, and I'll get back to this with the recording, is that essentially this kind of cheese does have a bit of a fermentation process so that it becomes something, the pak'ma'ra can eat.
Ah, excellent.
That's why I brought up the cheese concept. Otherwise, everyone would be subsisting on milk. Which,
I mean,
again,
you can have fermented milk that's not solid, but I'll take a solid. Solids are good.
Mm-hmm. It's as close as you're going to get to carrion, because otherwise, if you do try to carve off a piece of the body, you're going to find it's going to get weird. But also, you can't eat seafood, and trilobites are native to the ocean, so you're kind of like I don't know where this lands.
Yeah, I mean, also, just it seems rude to try and eat the thing that is carrying you through space.
Exactly. Now, what this also means is that if you do get to a port or someplace that has animals that you figure are viable, there are storage places down below that you can kind of use as a lauder by, stacking them in there and waiting for them to get ripe.
Yeah, I mean, Mirgret has options.
Mm-hmm. I did not want to make it a dire situation anytime soon, so...
Listen, no one wants to be on a ship with a starving pak'ma'ra.
Have you ever heard of the manatee effect?
Nope.
I learned about it from How I Met Your Mother, but it was talking about how when you're surrounded in a business and the only people you get to see are your local people, like you don't get to go out and date or see your family that much, the people around you start looking a lot more attractive all the time because you're used to them. And talk about with the manatee effect, when men were on a vessel and they had no other outlets, suddenly the manatees turned into mermaids real fast.
Ah.
So now think of that for a pak'ma'ra, and not in the mating sense, but more of the how soon does it become when you start looking at your friends going, I would have you over rice.
No, that's a thing in cartoons, is you look at someone and you're like, oh, why does Jim suddenly look like a cheeseburger?
Well, here's what I've been thinking about all week.
Now the Squirrels and Hurricanes, I guess.
No, that's the next week. We have Con Air. I haven't been able to find much on the funeral rites of Narn, but I do remember reading that a lot of their old historical and memorable places, including like graveyards, were basically shot to hell by the Minbari. Centauri.
Yes.
Sorry, Centauri.
If they were shot by the Minbari, that'd be a hell of a story.
Yeah, not the Minbari, Centauri. And that evidently changed the way they handle certain aspects of the religious rites, including funeral rites. But it doesn't say what they were and how they changed. So, other than they had some sort of like equivalent of, you know, Victorian crypt type graveyard system. So I'm trying to figure out what we would do with Conair, because we can't leave him on the ship indefinitely.
Not really, unless you put him in a cabin and seal the cabin off, and then it will just get like weird.
Yeah. So,
I mean, we
we'll
could
put him in his.
release him into space.
We could, but that just seems. For me personally, I would never want that.
If I may be so bold, they have mentioned that while they have different names for it, essentially the Narn are sun worshippers.
Yeah.
It was the rite they had where the sun had to crest over a certain hill at a certain time, and that's when everyone did this ritual. Now, by the same token, do they, just jettison people into space? Probably not unless the ship is blown up. But as we have also seen with the Earth traditions of launching them into space, from the stars we come, from the stars we return, and a number of times where even the Orlons the ship will kill itself once the owner is dead, they would fly into the sun. So it is not unreasonable that if you wanted to honor Connor in a way of a funerary rites, and you couldn't think of anything else, like you didn't want to bury him on a barren planet, nor did you just want to jettison him out of space, launching him at a star, which is, again, if they're sun worshippers, stars are sacred,
sun
would also be viable.
Yeah, I mean, you can do like a ceremony and shit. You don't have to like just throw him out the airlock. It's like a burial at sea. You can do like say some words or whatever.
That makes sense to me, because I'm like, on the one hand, there is the pak'ma'ra, but I don't think he would want that. So,
I mean, I wouldn't want
that's
that.
me.
No,
most people don't want to be food. Yeah,
I genuinely wouldn't care.
Yeah, I wouldn't care either.
I wouldn't care, but I personally not Ty.
Oh, no. Like me, Becca would not care. Like, if an alien wants to eat me, that's fine.
I'm not entirely sure that Julie would care either, because she has friends who are pak'ma'ra. So it would kind of be like a stranger in a strange land method of honoring, maybe? Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, I, Becca, am also deeply pragmatic in ways that other people find weird, so...
Yeah.
Okay. So
that solves that question.
You're thinking of possibly offering Connor to the pak'ma'ra, but at the same time, if you just want to put him into the sun with the words and the ritual spoken, that also works too.
Since you mentioned that there is food for the pak'ma'ra, then that question is no longer an issue, really. So,
like I said, that was the reason I came up with the cheese, because I was thinking about that, because biologics tend to produce mostly like a milk thing if a mammal. So what kind of food would a carrion eater or an eater of the dead eat? And the closest I could come up with, since we discussed they could eat fermented foods, was a cheese, because a lot of cheese is technically fermented. So
yes.
So that's why I brought up that concept. Mostly it was just the GM's way of saying, rather than making excess drama here, let's move on. So there will be funerary rites for Connor. The pak'ma'ra are able to eat. Yes, you're passing out the pills. Kutbusek takes his pill. Actually, he kind of does the whole, or they do the full, a pill. Do you have more? That was tasty. I think I could eat 17 of them and not put any weight on. Because again, pak'ma'ra. But you explain that you're doing this for his health and sanity, or their health and sanity, and he kind of nods and he says, I will go and meditate and otherwise defend my mind against such strains. Thank you. He shovels off towards wherever he goes, to his cabin, essentially. The last ones you have left, however, are you three and Yorni. And Yorni, when you come to her area, now, she does have a cabin, like I said, it's one of the smaller ones. It's not a closet, but it is smaller. It's, again, the size, I would say, is close to the from the Matrix, or a jail cell. It's just large enough for a slight bed and a little bit of a walking area, but that's it.
Are you implying there was something wrong with the closet we gave her?
I'll have you know that was a walk-in closet, a luxurious walk-in closet.
Fine for Harry Potter, it's fine for Yorni.
Who is on a similar path as we speak. She, however, when you see her, when you kind of knock, she does say, enter, please. Most of her stuff has been sorted up. She actually has made a number of bookcases that are empty now, but she's using them for storage in various places and draped something that looks like drapes, but you're also kind of going, that's probably like fibrous tissue. I don't want to do that. Yeah.
It could be hair.
Exactly.
That's actually worse.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah,
but...
never mind.
Why? You wear wool. That's
hair. That's been like processed and like.
Yeah, no, actually that's fair.
Not just fucking hair. Just a curtain of just like hair.
It could be worse. Does anyone know what the word fascia means?
Yes, it does. Yes, I do. And no, thank you.
For those who don't know, fascia is the substance that adheres your skin to your musculature.
Yeah.
I had to dissect a cat in high school, and we spent like weeks just scraping fascia off the thing.
Yes, in you'll usually see it referred to as silver skin.
So basically she's got it draped in various materials. You're not want to think about what it is, but again, it's still, the coloration is closer to black in some regards, but it's not full black. She's not like total goth or anything like that, but she looks like she's got affectations of it. She's got her book and a few of her tools stashed away amongst the bookcases, but they actually are stashed. They actually are like almost like what's the word I'm looking for? Like little drawers that fold in and out to keep it secure. But when she's there, she's sitting on the floor and she's holding a crystal ball in her hands. And crystal ball is luminescent. It is shining in and of itself. And her eyes are closed even as you come in. And dog's there. And she literally says, she says to the crystal ball, just a moment, I have visitors. And she blinks a little bit, looks up. Yes. Hi, mistress.
Oh my God, that's him, isn't it?
She's talking to the fucking technomage, isn't she?
That's him, isn't it?
You actually do tell her that? She says, yes, he has been assisting me.
Is he actually going to answer it?
She turns the crystal ball around, and there is Edlin's head kind of in the crystal ball. Oh, hello.
Really?
That's convenient.
I'm just helping my student. She had some questions regarding the accessibility of this particular technology on our own information, on our own abilities, and I'm trying to help her through that process. That's all.
I see.
Oh,
well,
he's just
if you have
simply annoying.
Any information that would help us, we would love to hear it now.
Well, she told me that you have a vessel that can go through the Slipstream situation. Yes?
Yes, but we're not entirely sure where we need to go.
Understood. Just a moment. Yorni? Yes? Apply data crystal to segment SIG 8238-9. She's, yes. She actually looks up from a, could you three, and she makes the universal, could you please turn around motion?
Okay, I'll turn around.
Okay. You hear a bit of rustling of fabric and a click, a bit of a, and then, and just
wait.
and
Am I
more rustling.
seeing her as Ty still on the bridge? I thought I was still on the bridge.
Oh, okay, I didn't know if your tie's on the bridge. The tie's on the bridge. Everybody else is going around doing the whole, here, take a pill.
She's the only person staying in her and you're the only people staying awake, so there's no reason for her to be there in the pill taking.
Yeah, we're just...
But she you hear the rustling of fabric again, and she's, next time you see her, she does the, okay, that's clear. She's holding up the crystal ball with one hand and a data crystal on the other. And he says, this is everything that my order knows about the map maker. There is a particular planet that I can only guess at. I don't have the full picture to give you the full information, but apply it to what you have and you might help you.
Okay. Thank you.
I am living up to my end of the bargain. I know you find me foolish and annoying, but I am living up to my end of the bargain.
Which is surprising because we didn't get your ship released.
He looks over. Not yet. About that. So, I have guests. He looks over.
Dooley looks horrified. You... what?
Just a moment. Hold on a second. And he says, Yorni utilized the seance. She says, are you sure? He says, yes. She says, very well. She goes over to her bag, rummages out, and she brings out this kind of small disc. Yeah, it's kind of a thick thing, but she goes over to a table-like structure, places it in the middle, puts the crystal ball in the middle, and then sits in a chair that's provided. And then she kind of puts her hands on the table, closes it, chants for a second. And you also hear Edlin going, please, everyone, gather around. Thank you. Gather around. Thank you. We have to do this, and it's very difficult. So please, quiet and concentrate. Concentrate. And they both start chanting, and eventually their chants merge together as one, like a single unit. Kind of like going for when you're doing row, row, row your boat, and everyone's now doing the same verse at the same time.
Okay.
Which they should be doing anyway.
Once that happens, the sphere illuminates, and in very segmented parts around the table now are, I won't say primitive holograms, but you would have to say, if you had an analogy to put to it, the ghostly images of 5 people. Dr. Christopher Rule, the Captain John Miller, the first officer, I believe her name was Inslee. I forgot. There's 3. The Psy-Cop, Gardner Fox, and the human archaeologist who was initially found to look for ectomages. And they're all sitting around the table. So it basically looks for a moment. And then one of the images is, of course, Edlund himself, who is sitting almost in the same spot as Yorni. And as they move as one. Where Yorni picks up her hand and moves it and says, please, come take a seat. So does Edlund, and they both speak at the exact same time. He says, please, come.
Okay. So, I was originally here to give, and I hold out this pill to Yorni, because supposedly, as we travel, it may cause some discomfort and some issues with most people's brains. Am I right in assuming that because you're in a little glass ball, you're in someplace else that won't be affected by that?
They say is one, she is here, he is not. These people here, he addresses those in the ship, are guests upon his ship. Because the ship, while still filled with civilians, is becoming more and more filled with others. And they needed a safe spot to go. I offered my ship. They cannot come within. And so they stay. I and they will not be affected by your travels. This is just a projection.
Okay, good.
But as I was saying, we have guests who are here for protection.
I'm glad that you were able to offer them shelter.
I am trying to assist in other ways in this. I am making my bargain clear. I still wish my ship released, but that is why I have sent what data I have through Yorni to you.
And that is appreciated. I'm not sure what... I honestly don't know what we can do for you.
They raise their hands, looks you right in the eye. Go faster.
Yes, we are trying.
I mean, we'd need more brains for that.
I wish you luck on the journey.
Hey, Dan, can I make an intelligence roll to see if I would think of that?
I think.
Or is Mirgret there?
Mirgret is there. She's helping you. Yeah, you're the vocal person. She's the one giving out the pills. Remember, you're the mouthpiece.
Do you say that out loud, Mirgret?
No, I didn't say it in the Mirgret voice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then no.
Mirgret's not going to talk to what's his nuts. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, we can try, but we are limited. The ship is not fully functional.
I understand. You are in a vessel that is hundreds, if not thousands of years old. It doesn't understand. Try your best. We beg of you. If Yorni can help, please utilize her. If we can help, we will utilize her. In the meantime, I will stay in contact with her when needed and confer to you what is going on here.
So I look at Yorni, I say, can you speak to the brains that we had? Are you telepath?
It takes a moment for them to figure out, because you just say, can you do this? And because the holograms is kind of overlaid onto Yorni, he's like, what? Oh, Yorni. Are we telepath? No, we're technomage. Very different. Our technology is different, but we can try to assist when need be. We delve with circuit and occasional neurologics.
We don't have circuits here.
And we will see what we can do.
Let's make this first jump, and then I will get back to you and see how it goes, and maybe you can help us with something.
Understood. We await what is needed. I must break contact. I'm getting a bloody nose. Until then, and he says something in some ancient, like it's some sort of prayer in a language you don't understand, but it's probably something again relating to syntax errors in DOS. And then the hologram itself kind of fades away in a puff of smoke, just kind of floats away in mist. Yorni shakes it out a little bit, and she's like, that's yeah. Oh, is that a pill to make me sleep? Okay,
yes.
I'll take the pill. That's
all right.
I got quantitative calculations to dream about and recipes. I want to make some calabash pie. And then she just kind of takes one of the pills, throws it back, and just yes, calabash
Lie
pie
down
sounds.
before you fall down.
Yeah. She doesn't even finish the sentence. It sounds love-fud. Okay,
yeah,
she's good. So last is the three of you. I believe Dooley offered to stay with Ty to make sure Ty gets the adrenaline should it be needed. And Mirgret, are you going to stay awake, or are you going to go try to sleep?
I am going to sleep because I feel like having a deeply distressed telepath like thrashing around is probably a bad thing.
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but our pak'ma'ra are very communally minded, yes?
Yeah, we are.
So in this particular situation, basically going to Kutbusek's cabin to sleep would actually be considered to be a common thing, yes?
Oh yeah, no, we are totally huddled in a pile together.
Gotcha. Okay. No, again, this is definitely more of the communal. Also, it's very good for making sure both of you feel comfortable in the situation. If your brains are about to do weird shit.
Yes.
Yeah. It's what we used to call in the SCA a puppy pile.
Yep, or a cuddle puddle. Either is out.
Yeah.
Yep. God, I miss those. You start branching out all these, people in different directions in this tree of people and limbs, all using each other as essentially pillows. It's like, that's nice. Great way to spend an afternoon. So yes, you go there. So Julie and Ty. Ty, you've been talking to the ship, and Dodger's been helpful as best they can with, again, the calculations and everything else like that. And again, you've gone over everything like 3 or 4 times just to make sure that everything is right. And because it only has a very small amount of data of what this is like, it can't give you all the information of what it's going to do to you, but it's like you may experience some colors, you may experience some feelings, you may experience feeling like you are bread or flat, or suddenly you may become a fish, at least for a moment.
Okay, well, I can't do anything about this, so deal with that when it comes to it.
All right. So, Julie, you have in one hand essentially a hypo spray of adrenaline, and in the other hand, a data crystal.
I'm going to pocket the data crystal for now.
Mm-hmm.
We're ready to jump. I don't, everybody's asleep, so I don't want to ruin that. And then after the jump, I'll bring it up.
Okay. So, all right. You go up to the bridge. You find you can actually sit on the large couch area, which would be considered the captain's area, whereas the Ty would be in the pilot station because that's where you do all the piloting. But if nothing else, Ty station is right there. I mean, like, I won't say you're right close to the view screen, to the windows, but you're really close to the windows. You could see everything in a almost 270-degree angle from where you're sitting. Yeah, so you take the ship off. Space-wise, she's handling great. Again, you did a little more of the shakedown cruise. With the new brain, she's handling a lot better. And you ask for a detection of a slipstream entrance, and you find one. Now, you can't see it. Dodger essentially can. And it basically says, whenever you are ready, Captain, we will enter and exit at the designated port.
I guess we're ready.
All right. Please take your positions. You're like, I'm in my position.
Are there any sort of restraints for the couch?
No. It's a couch. It literally is like this bench, padded bench. So you still have control for everything. So I'm going to ask for a operations pilot roll.
Mm-hmm.
29.
Nice.
Good. So again, you could ask Dodger to do stuff, but you feel a lot more comfortable just utilizing these controls and doing it yourself. And when you do, even when you hit the event horizon of the slipstream event, the slipstream portal, you could feel the change, and you just kind of ride with it, and it suddenly is the closest you could think of surfing a tanker ship. I mean, this is like, it's weird. Space warps around you, but you still feel like you know where you're going. You still feel like you know what you're doing, and your hands are just, hitting dials and levers and all sorts of stuff, and doing the navigation left, right, and center, and you feel like you've got this. You've so got this. And yes, there are weird colors in front of you. Whatever's inside this tunnel, it's like seeing colors that in theory shouldn't exist. Like hyper orange. This is an actual color apparently that you just can't see. And several other these bizarre, interesting colors that just keep coming up through this view screen. And you're looking at it. Give me a quick will save.
Okay. What is Yep.
19. Okay. Yeah, it's a little, you got a little bit of a headache. You know that, but when you're done, you're probably going to have to clean off the blood from under your nose and possibly by the corner of your eyes. But at the same time, this is both amazing, hypnotic, exhilarating, strange, and just an amazing feel to just go through this thing. And you kind of lose track of what is time. Not necessarily you lose track of time, it's just sort of, what is this again? And the length of time that you spent in the navigations, it could have been 10 minutes, it could have been 2 years, and you would literally have no clue. But it felt longer than 10 minutes, it felt shorter than 2 years, somewhere around the middle, you're guessing. So when you do pop out, you almost expect to look down and see like your fingernails had grown an extra inch or your hair had gone, long and gray and white or whatever. You do find out that, yes, I'm not sure entirely if this is true with canon, but humans bleed a different color. That's fascinating. As you do wipe some of the blood from under your nose. Do Lee, give me a will save as well, please.
Okay, let me look that up. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too bad. Oh, there we go, 20.
Okay. So you also had a similar view, but from a little while back. So for you, it's also the same sort of dazzling rush, but also it's a little more freaky because you're not the one controlling it. So all you have to do is basically hold on for the ride and make sure that Ty there doesn't pass out. Now, Ty did not pass out. When you get out of the Slipstream event, you were A, really uncomfortable, B, had kind of a weird trip, C, also, again, like, oh my god, am I human? Am I Narn? Oh wait, what's going, okay, no, that's an arm. That's good. I figured out what an arm is. Good. Okay, it's the right color. Okay, good. Let's work with that. Let's put in the other arm. Good. They match. But again, you also find out that, you were bleeding out the nose a bit. And again, it hurt like hell. But otherwise, you're okay. And again, you, like Ty, got to see interesting colors that don't technically exist, but they do. But otherwise, it was exhilarating, strange, kind of painful, kind of overloading. And yeah, you're like, were we gone for like 10 minutes? Were we gone for 4 hours? Was it 900 years? What's going on? Was it negative 200 years? Did we come out before we went in? Again, you're having a hard time dealing with this. But let me get fortitude saves from both Dooley and from Ty, please.
22.
You both rolled 22.
22.
That's hilarious.
Nice.
Yeah, and Sorcerer, you got a 20. So you're like, not just, I got this, but more of like, yeah, let's do that again. All right. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah.
It's a pretty good drug.
So like you and I roll real well?
It's basically the same sort of feeling some people get from doing skydiving. And, by the end of the first couple of times you're scared. The second time you're like, yeah. Okay, yeah, let's do that. I survived. Let's do that again. You're not sure all your limbs are there. That's okay. Let's do it again. And Julie also did the whole, but Julie didn't get the natural 20. So just, again, it's the same as you. You're like, okay, get up. Like, oh, bleeding in the nose. That's fine. I'm good. I have woke up in worse states than this. So both of you actually able to get up, walk around if you need to, but you feel very fully functional even though you have a nosebleed. But that's, again, by the time you actually kind of get to it, it's not really a nosebleed anymore. You're not actively bleeding. You just have the remnants of your nose. And it's not like a full gusher or anything else like that. You don't need the adrenaline, which is good. You've got enough of it searching through your body as we speak.
Yay!
Now it's for emergencies. Here we are. Somewhere.
So that wasn't too bad.
Could have been worse.
I have some news that I didn't want to share before the jump because I want you to be able to focus. But Yorni is able to briefly communicate with the weirdo back on the ship.
Which one?
The one who claimed to be a techno mage.
Oh, Edlin, the techno mage. Yep.
Okay. So now they exist. Okay. So he gave us this, and I hold up the little crystal. Of course, I don't know that we have anything that can read it.
Did he say what was on it?
Everything they knew about the name that just blanked on my hand. The model maker. Thank you. Everything that they knew about the model maker.
Oh, that's handy. Yeah, I'll just plug it into this ship somehow. Or maybe Mirgarat just has like a little computer.
Oh, Mirgarat took all of her equipment.
Yeah, just get Mirgarat to plug it in when they wake up.
Okay.
It's possible you might be able to connect to the ship, but also you've got a shuttle down below, which absolutely does have a data reader.
Oh yeah, that's right, we do.
Yeah, we'll use the shuttle.
Yep.
I don't know how long it's going to be before Mirgarat wakes up, so I have no idea what year it is.
Well,
so
on the way to the shuttle, I'm going to poke my head in a door and see if people are still sleeping.
Okay. Let me choose one at random. And,
Yep.
Why is there a battery in there?
Man, Mysteries of the Dice Cup, right?
All right. So the first person you actually come across is you end up somehow or another at the medical bay with Aparo, who's still asleep.
Okay.
You find out that Eric has taken the room closest to the med bay, as you might expect.
Yeah.
And that he also is out for the count. Now with him, Aparo looks like he was basically strapped down to a table of some type, and in a bed table, and it's just basically been kept there the whole time. Eric was not strapped down. He was in a platform bed, which is still, all these beds are actually rather comfy. You don't want to think about it, but they're rather comfy. And when you find him, he is not just sprawled out on the bed. He is sprawled up with his head on the floor, a leg on the bed, his arms outstretched, and snoring heavily.
Okay, that's not good. He's going to end up with a headache. I'm going to try and go lift him onto the bed. Given that I have an 8 strength, that's probably not possible, but I'm going to try. That or just move his feet to the floor. That's probably a better bet.
I could do this, I could do that. Never mind, just kick him to the floor. Let gravity do the work. You actually do kind of like, let's get a foot up here, and he goes, literally when he kind of bring his foot down, his first words are, "Mom, stop."
Oh my god, I'm out of here.
It's like, is it shift time already?
Go back to sleep.
Right.
You've got a whole nother shift to sleep through.
Good. He literally raises his hand, gives a thumbs up, and then like his entire body passes out again.
Man, that sounds like me when I'm asleep.
Been there.
Oh yeah.
I evidently have entire conversations that I don't remember.
Same.
So anyway, you check on the people and you head down to the shuttle, and yeah, once you get to the, you open it up, you go into the shuttle. Shuttle is still operational, full power, everything else like that. You click into the data reader, which is basically not much more than a little TV with the data port on it, and the information you have is kind of sped read. Again, it's like documents that have been photocopied from ancient manuals that have been redigitized, and they're kind of like blinking up at the screen. Not like, strobe light fast, but more of like picture. And there's a lot of data to sort through. go ahead and give me, if you have operation, so computer use. That would be computer use.
Me?
Whoever's doing the data with the on the shuttle. I believe that's Julie.
Yeah. I'm looking it up.
I mean, I'll go down. Like, I don't think I need to be on the bridge while we just sit here waiting on people to wake up, so.
Just let the ship know if they need to contact you. But I got a 24.
Okay,
Hang
24.
on a second. No,
Okay.
you're good. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, you rolled a 24.
So you did a couple of things. You can find some data about some ancient myths of the model maker, about somebody who was a champion of the Vorlons back in the day. And they talk about back in the day as in like thousands of years ago, or the time of the last Shadow War, or even the Shadow War prior to that. And that the model maker was just that, somebody who had devoted their lives to making these models and had found trying to perfect an idea. But because of this, he, by the technomages, he's kind of this revered person because he has been spending all his time perfecting a technology and perfecting the best analogy I can have is something I read in a William Gibson novel, where there were Zen masters who had decided they weren't doing bows and they weren't doing sand paintings or anything like that. These were Zen absolute masters who lived in a cardboard house in the subway, literally just like a guy living in a box in a subway, who spent all his money on Gundam models, and that was his aspect of Zen. He didn't paint a single brush stroke or glue anything together if the Zen property wasn't correct. And he would sit there with his brush over the model in anticipation, in meditation, and he did everything like that. His Gundam models had entire galleries, but that's what he did. So that is the best metaphor I can come up with to how they revere this model maker who had studied so much technology, ancient technology, not necessarily forbidden technology, but ideas lost amongst the ether, things that have been considered long gone, that he has managed to keep together. And the model maker may have all sorts of interesting technology which might help you in your quest. Again, it's a lot of vague and legends therein because that's all they have. Also, he has a more detailed map of of the Slipstream.
I mean, that's handy.
Yep. That's very handy.
Yeah,
it's handy, but again, very few of it's labeled simply because, as is mentioned, no technomage who has ever attempted to utilize the Slipstream ever survived.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so what you're saying is technomage is 0, us 1.
Well, technically, there is a technomage who has utilized the stream corridor and survived, as far as you know.
Yeah, but she was here, so she knows exactly as much as we do. Probably less, because she was asleep the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So most of this is useless.
The map.
Hi.
Well,
Maybe.
Can I get a notice check, please?
Sure, if you really want it.
You're the only person on the bridge, so you're the only person who can do this.
3, 20.
20. All right. Oh, by the way, Tori, thank you for the link. All right, 20. Good. So you notice that there is, in fact, a fairly large older star. It's not quite a red giant, but I think there's a phase between our star and the Titanic red giant, but it is a much older star. It has, from what you can see, a single planet orbiting it that's not far away. In fact, you can see the disk of the planet from where you are. It's about the size of, the planet itself is probably larger than the Earth, but it's not a gas giant. I'm only going by like the planets we know as references, so just run with me. But it is slightly larger than Earth. It's not a gas giant. It is actually looks like a solid planet, there are a number of asteroid belts all around this star, from what you can see. But the one planet does have this ring, and you're not far from it. I mean, not like right up the middle of it, but you can see it in the same way that if you were to look at the moon, you'd be able to see it. You're still far away from it, but you get the idea.
Okay. I'm going to tell the ship to scan the planet.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does the ship know how to scan a planet?
I mean, I can explain it if it really, like, what I'm looking for. I mean, just, I want to know if it has oxygen or if it's just there or whatever,
I'll still need a basic operations scanners.
Don't have that.
Oof. Just give me a quick operational roll, that would be the same as your intelligence.
Okay. Let me see what that is.
So yeah, you have a 13 intelligence?
Yeah, 13.
13, yep. So you get a +1 to the roll. So D20 +1. 9? Okay. So you do spend quite a bit of time just trying to explain it. Do a scan. A what? Oh, do this. Looking for this. What? Oh, you got a 20. I thought you said 9.
Yeah.
Okay, you get a 20.
No.
I'm sorry. That was my bad. You're like, okay, I need a sensor console. And after explaining what you're looking for, and it does take a little bit to explain, a console does kind of emerge from the right side of the cabin. So you can take a look at stuff, again, using that weird 3D technology, but everything's routed through various high-definition sensors on, again, a biological level. So you're not getting eyes so much as you're getting light-sensitive photoreceptors and things like that. But it's not just for light, it's for a ton of stuff out there. And so, thankfully, you can read some of the readout, and you're thanking the brains for that, because you're absolutely certain that Dodger probably did not know English or any common language until all the brains were plugged in. So you do basic scan of ideas, and Dodger kind of responds back to some of the information. Yes, there is a fair number of asteroid belts around. The amount of material seems to indicate this was once a massively planeted system. There actually used to be like multiple planets around this star. Now there's just the one with the rings. But yeah, again, star is very old. The one planet is there, and let's do a quick card check. It can tell you that, yes, while it cannot identify what or they're in, essentially the word it's using is life waves, which just throws your head. But it says it detects small life waves noted from the vicinity of the one planet.
All right, so maybe it has some plants or something.
Hmm?
All right, well, yeah, I'll just start heading towards the planet, I guess.
Okay.
To, like, orbit or whatever, and I'm not gonna land because almost everybody else is still asleep as far as I know, but...
So, good, we're almost out of time. Perfect spot. Okay. So, you navigate the ship up to getting closer to the planet. As you get closer to the planet, give me another notice check.
Oh boy. 13.
Okay. As you get closer to the planet, you notice the rings themselves don't look right. You've seen tons of ringed planets in your lifetime. You've gone from one end of the galaxy to the next shipping materials. You've seen them as far as wide as the eye can see. This doesn't look right. It doesn't look so much like a couple sets of rings or a record player with the various, different songs listed out in color. It's almost like it's not a cloud, and it's not that thick to be a cloud. It's still definitely a ring, but it's a much wider ring than you would expect, and it's not quite as densely packed of what you would guess to be ice and various material. This one's different somehow.
Like how? Like, is there more, like, asteroids? Is it, like, a different color?
The colors are different. In fact, there's no unified color of the ring, but you could tell the particles that make up the ring aren't small. They're probably fairly large asteroids or something to that effect. Something, several miles in length or circumference or whatever. Not just like a couple. We're talking like anywhere between 3 to 10 miles.
Yeah. Okay. So like, there used to be other planets, right?
As far as the sensors indicate, yeah.
The way the moons of it's been a while. The way the moons of Jupiter and Saturn were created is because there were other moons that part somehow and turned into these gravitational rings. What if the rings came from these other planets, and that's why the particles are so much bigger, theoretically, or the things in them are so much bigger?
It's a good possibility. I mean, you'd probably know more if you get closer. You're still, like I said, you're getting that direction. You haven't quite gotten there yet. It still takes some time to actually get there.
Mm-hmm.
Mirgrat, can you make a fortitude save, please?
Hell yes, I can. Once I check what my modifier is. I know Fort's the good one. 13.
Okay. Not great. You're able to slough off the effects of the sleeping potion, whatever the heck it was, fairly quickly. Kutbusek also kind of raises with you, and after doing a quick stretch, they recommend that shall we not see to the bridge.
Yes! Let us find out where we are!
So the two of you go up to meet Ty at the bridge. Dooley, after getting the information out, do you also head to the bridge?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be that much help, but there's no point in staying in the ship by myself.
Okay. So you lock up, again, turn all the power off because you're conserving power for this thing. It's not like you can, attach it to any power cable.
Yet.
And you head up to the bridge. Now, again, you pass a lot of the other people who are still sleeping in various forms or whatever. Most of the doors are locked, but that's fine. Again, few people are up, except for Kutbusek and Mirgrat. And they, see you as you head up to the bridge. And all three of you join Ty at the bridge, and you get to take a look at actually what you're seeing out front. Again, much older star, a single planet, fairly larger than Earth, not quite, Jupiter or, gaseous giant, but again, solidly built but very large, with a single ring around it that, as I described, looks very strange even to y'all's eyes. And then, yes, the indication that there's a number of asteroid belts in this system that, as far as anyone can tell, the hypothesis is these were planets at one point that were destroyed. So, actually, I'm going to go with this. Dooley, give me an intelligence check.
Okay.
4.
Oh.
Okay, that actually works.
Oh, that's right. Intelligence checks. So, yeah, that's good.
So you actually remember, based on the information you got, a planet that did not look unlike what you saw seeing in front of you was on the list of data that you got from Edland. Now, Edland's version, again, looked like 15th century manuscript drawings, but again, it looks not unlike that planet, except that planet didn't have a ring.
Somebody put a ring on it.
Yeah. That was really bad.
Yeah, I know.
Really like that planet. But yeah.
All right, so I will mention that to Ty because she saw the same information.
Okay.
Did it say anything else about said planet, or is there just a picture?
According to the information that you saw from the data, it was called the home of the model maker. That's about as close as you got. Again, you're working with 15th century versions of scientific tasks.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I guess we'll know more when we get close to it. We can do a closer scan, maybe.
Okay.
And see if there's anything down there. Or whatever.
Mirgrat and Julie, since Ty already made one notice check, you two can make a notice check.
Oh boy. This is going to go well. Oh, it's not as bad as I thought, actually. 18.
18. And Julie, don't forget you.
Oh. I'm sorry, what am I rolling? I thought you
Notice.
said just those two. Notice. Okay.
Yeah, Ty already did it, not you. You.
Okay, I heard wrong.
It's okay. 14.
Yeah,
2.
I'm
but you
busy.
gotta-
My brain is trying to remember something.
Okay, yeah. Again, all of you look at the ring there, and again, all the objects in the ring, it doesn't look right. There's a multitude of colors, but not like a sunshiny bright rainbow of colors. Nothing's unified. The actual materials, the asteroids or whatever they are, again, are huge, much larger than you should find in a ringed planet for a planet so small. Again, it's larger than Earth by far, like leagues, but it's not a gas giant, so it shouldn't have chunky rings. There's no other way of putting it. It's a chunky peanut butter of rings.
So, is there a way to analyze what those rings are? Can we
Operation
just scan
scanner?
the rings?
Ty doesn't have that.
But does Julie or Mirgrat?
Not her specialty.
Operations. No, I have operations piloting. That's
I
it.
have no operation skills.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys do a quick intelligence plus d20 roll.
Like our intelligence modifier?
Yeah.
Do you want me to
As
do
in,
it
like-
again? I already did that. Do you want me to do it again?
No, just the two people who haven't done it before.
Whoops. No, that was incorrect. I pressed enter when I was trying to press shift.
Right, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, well, I
Julie, on the other
rolled
hand,
another
yeah.
horrible roll.
14. Okay. All right. Becca, do you have any astrophysics or physics?
No, I primarily focus on the squishy bits of science.
I figured as much. Does anybody else have any knowledges of any other sciences?
Nope. Ty is not a scientist. Otherwise, she wouldn't be flying a goddamn tanker around the galaxy.
Okay.
She would have a better job.
All right. In that case. Oh! Your compatriot rolled a 1, so they're just still dealing with the after effects of that weird drug system. So, okay, since we're getting about time, I'm just going to give it to you guys. So as you get closer and closer, you notice the rings aren't uniform, as I said. They're definitely chunky, but you're noticing that there's definite places where you have definite objects and other places that look like not so much. I'm guessing, like I said, I'm going to give it to you. So when you try to buzz past closer to the rings, you find out that the larger objects are not stone. In fact, they're a form of metal. You look at them initially going, wait, there's something weird about this. Out of curiosity, does anybody have knowledge? History?
Nope.
Nope. I have a bunch of knowledge cultures, but not history.
Cultures, but not history.
Ty has knowledge, customs laws, so if that ever comes up,
Okay.
we're set.
Mirgrat, you said you had knowledge cultures. What culture in particular?
Human, pak'ma'ra, Narn, Centauri, Minbari, Brakiri.
I will allow a human knowledge culture roll in this regard.
I also have that,
Alright.
so if she fails it, I can try.
Oh, you got that as well? All right.
28.
Okay. All right, go ahead and roll anyway. I just want to see what you got.
Sure. Yeah, no.
You roll 20. That's what's
12.
Okay. All right. So you guys are all looking at this going, wait, what's with this? What's going on? And Mirgrat. Actually, what you probably get is going to be Kukbusek looking over going, are those not familiar? I can't quite place it. I think they're human, but not quite. And Mirgrat looks over and says, wait, it doesn't look right. In fact, they look like someone's trying to recreate something and not quite getting it right, you figured out what it is. You're looking at the ones that are like 10 miles long. They're the same vessel over and over again. The little things are like pods and materials and harvesters and things like that. But the larger ones, you'd probably guess to be about 20 of them in the system. Sorry, in this orbit. They're recreations of Babylon 4.
Oh shit!
Oh no.
And you thought you were going to wait around for nothing. How do you like a good suspenseful climax like that? I tell you the best stories, do I not? But this is why you have to come back next time to find out more about these new vessels that look like Babylon 4 on Odyssey, a Babylon 5 story. Now good, you'll excuse me, once again, I have more work to do. And a twerking Narn. Why do you do this to me?
And that's where we're in for this week. I want to thank everyone for joining us and hope that you continue to join us every 2 weeks for another episode of Odyssey. If you have any questions, comments, constructive criticisms, or just want to say hi, then you can find us at temporalplaygrounds.com/Odyssey or email us at temporalplaygrounds@gmail.com or find us on Facebook, Odyssey, a Babylon 5 RPG podcast, or Reddit, r/OdysseyB5. Babylon 5 was created by J. Michael Straczynski and is owned by Warner Brothers Domestic Media. The Babylon 5 role-playing game was produced by Mongoose Publishing utilizing the OGL gaming license for D20. Our audio engineer is Gabriel Belden. Our theme music, Titan Striker, was composed by Evan King. Incidental music provided by Tabletop Audio at tabletopaudio.com. All other music provided by Creative Commons license and is available of information on our website. Once again, I am Daniel, and I thank you for joining us on this grand adventure. Good night, and keep dreaming.